It's time. All right, got everything? Yeah, we're good. God, it's cold in here. Go away, notifications. All right. And here we go in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Today is Tuesday, October 15th, 2019. My name is Jeremy. And this is my first cup of coffee. Apparently today is international. Hold on, I'm gonna get it right. Today is National Martial Arts Day. I have no idea. I had no idea. So shout out to Frank for finding that. Apparently we should have made a whole big deal about today. Yikes. I think we'll put that on the calendar for next year. There's a lot we could do. Promotions and make an official Whistlekick National Martial Arts Day shirt. Donate the profits to something. That'd be kind of fun. Well, it's Tuesday. I did not have a terribly productive yesterday. Typical Monday for me. Got through what I needed to. Phone calls and meetings and whatnot. Went to the gym. But in between it all, actually no, I kept up on email. There's not a lot of email hanging out. There's a few other things gotta get done. But for the most part, yeah, pretty good to go. Oh, that's what I'm gonna do after. I've got a small window. I have acupuncture at 9, which gives me, about 90 minutes. You're fine, cat. Gives me about 90 minutes to get some work done. And there's a box of stuff that's got to go to Amazon, so I'll go back get that boxed up. Anybody want a cat? She's not annoying. Are you? Well, what else going on today? I got an episode to record later. Oh, I'm not gonna look at the notes. I think I have 2. Should be doing some Kempo training this evening. Dinner with a friend. So yesterday's episode of Martial Arts Radio with Professor George Dillman did not attract the sort of attention I was expecting. I'll admit it. I expected the underbelly of the martial arts internet to email me all of their hatred, as they did when I interviewed Bodie Sanders. But it didn't happen. So I'm torn. Because if it had attracted that attention, it would mean people were listening. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. I mean, it definitely had a decent launch, but we'll see. I'll dig into those numbers later today. See how it's doing. But we got some questions, so let's ask them. Remember, if you want to ask a question, you probably know how to do it. Just ask it below. I'll answer it the next day. How do you think martial arts will change in 2020? Well, I don't think martial arts is going to change in 2020. I think we'll see some small changes, especially in karate, with karate in the Olympics. I think we'll continue to see a lot of the things that we're seeing. I think the general trends right now are around people moving into more mixed styles of classes. Schools opening to have multiple instructors or instructors that have trained in multiple things, teaching, hybrids. But I don't have data for anything. So I have hunches, but they're not even solid enough hunches that I feel like sharing them is appropriate. I think we'll continue to see more and more of a shift towards sharing and collaboration. That's kind of why I see the hybrid stuff. And that's happening because old-time masters that are prohibiting that in their students are dying off. Or retiring or whatever. And the more younger people teaching, the more open they seem to be to sharing and collaboration in the arts, which is great. I think that's important. I think that moves the needle forward. I think it gets more people involved. What does being a martial artist mean to you? Well, that's a surprisingly tough question for me. Martial arts, to me, is personal development through the lens of hand-to-hand combat. Being a martial artist is practicing martial arts and utilizing those skills to benefit yourself and others. As I develop personally, I should be lifting up the people around me, whether they are martial artists or not. I should be setting an example for conduct. It's interesting. I don't know that I think about this very much. And I'm a little surprised that it's that hard to answer. So I've always felt that a great martial artist is someone that other people will look at and say, that person's a really good person. They're reliable. You can count on them. They're stable, strong in various ways. And I think that works. I think that works as a definition for martial arts. I think that works for being a martial artist. I think it's someone who continues to grow and develop and make themselves better, but at the same time represents something and expresses something that other people aspire to. You can have a passion for growth even if you haven't achieved much growth. So I think it's that passion, it's that dedication that other people are going to pick up on. And lastly today, what martial art would you like to study next? Assuming we're talking about something I haven't done before, then it's Kung Fu. I haven't spent much time with Chinese arts. It could also be Wushu. The teeny tiny little bit of Wushu I enjoyed. I thought it was fun. It was definitely challenging, and I appreciate challenges. Learning Wushu forms and getting good at them would be something good for my body. If it was something that I have done, if we could include that, I would probably put capoeira above Kung Fu or Wushu on the list because it's so much fun and I miss it. I miss it a lot. Maybe that'll come back into my life at some point. We'll see. There's a visual for me when I talk about martial arts and training in different martial arts. And I imagine if you've ever played Trivial Pursuit, you know, you've got your little piece is this little circle, and you drop these little wedges, pie wedges in. And when I think about it in that way, the first thing you train in of any substance and for any period of time gives you the biggest wedge. And the more you train, the smaller the wedges. But if you want to add bigger pieces, you look for the things that are the most different from what you train in or have trained in. If I was looking to add the biggest piece right now, it would probably be like historical European martial arts, because it's primarily weapons based and, you know, whole different philosophies. I could go from karate school to karate school and learn new things, but I'd be adding tiny slivers because that's what I've got most of my experience in. The difference between Trivial Pursuit and my analogy is that in Trivial Pursuit you can add all six, I think it's six pieces and then finish the game. Martial arts isn't a game, you don't finish it. There's always more. And the irony is the more pieces you add in, the bigger the gap, the more you realize there is to know. And that's something that I appreciate, but not everyone does. Some people like to get really, really good at stuff and finish it. There's no finishing martial arts. It's always there. There's always more. You could always be better. I think that's a good thing. I really just want to sit on the couch and drink coffee. But I'm going to get up and put on pants and work. Because that's what the day calls for. Right, Cat? I woke up, I pulled back the curtains in the bedroom and was thinking, why are the motion sensor lights on? It's really bright. No, that was the moon. It was crazy. We've had a really bright full moon. For those of you that live in the city, I'm sorry you don't get to see it, because it's awesome. It's nothing like moon shadows. There's nothing like being outside under a full moon so bright that you don't need a flashlight. I've snowshoed in that. I've walked in that. I think I've been sledding in that. It's great. If you're someone that's never seen a moon like that, make sure you do at some point. It's awesome. I'm gonna go. Your homework. If you're to take my, at least, thought example of the most opposite martial art, the most, what would be the biggest piece you could add into your Trivial Pursuit pie at this point? I want you to think about what that would be. You know, if you've been primarily in kicking-based martial arts, maybe boxing, maybe Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Think about the things that you're good at, and then think about the things you're not so good at. That's probably where the answer is. It's part of why I do Kempo. This particular school adds up all the things that I need some help in. So that's why I train there. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, we do the show weekday mornings, 6:30 a.m. Eastern, here on YouTube. You can catch it later. firstcupwithjeremy.com or in your podcast app. If you haven't checked out yesterday's episode with Professor George Dillman, you should. Tell some great stories. If you want to ask a question, and I hope you do, drop it below. I'll answer it tomorrow. Take care. Have a good day. Peace.